Guess it's a bit off the cuff tonight, and I don't have my circle, but I think the light's all right. So, um, I'll just do this off the cuff. But there's two things that concern me really. One is the assisted dying bill, which is being pioneered through Parliament by Kim Ledbetter, and the other one is this vigil that was to Yahya Sinwar, who's a terrorist, dead terrorist now in London. you know. And these two things concern me. First of all, the assisted dying bill. I mean, basically, they want to make it legal for people to help people knock themselves off. Now, I think this is a slippery slope. I think you will get some senile, daffy old beard or much loved grandfather, and hey, change your will so we get the money in the house, and sign this piece of paper. It's all right. It's no problem. Before you know it, they're being marched off to a room and pumped full of drugs, and they're dead. And the relatives, or the cleaner, or somebody benefits from their death, benefits financially from their death. And I can just see this happening. This is the slippery slope. Old bids, grandfathers and grandmothers, old ladies and old gentlemen being knocked off for their money, because that is human nature. People will do that. People are very ruthless when it comes to money and gaining an advantage, particularly financial. People will do it. Of course, they will do it. And if they can find a legal way to knock off a granny or a granddad, then they will do it. They'll do it. Of course, they will. So this is just one. This is the slippery slope to that situation. And of course, under Kim Ledbetter's bill, this will be perfectly legal. Or say someone's very mentally unwell and very vulnerable, and someone says, "Oh, why don't you kill yourself?" And I'll have your money. Is that all right? And they'll be talked into it. Your life's pointless. Kill yourself and give me all your goods and chattels. Don't make your will out to me. And sign this piece of paper, and everything's fine. And you march to a room and pump full of drugs, and you're dead. And someone does very well out of that. And I think they say there's going to be safeguards, but I just don't believe that um, these safeguards will work, because you're coming up against brutal human nature. And some people are very ruthless, they're very brutal, and they will do what it takes to further their own cause, you know. And then the next thing is that I saw Mao Tusi was in London in Trafalgar Square, and there was this, or maybe it was part of a wider Pally, um, you know, uh, demonstration which they do every Saturday, But there were people who were definitely mourning Yara Sinwar, someone as vile and horrible as that, and they were like, well, they light candles, were they, and chanting, going, "Oh, we will overcome," or something like that. I don't know what they were doing, but there was definitely a sort of a vigil of sorts. And I just, why are we tolerating this? They are like the IRA, they're like that. Would you tolerate a vigil to the IRA, to people killed by the IRA? Would you people, but IRA terrorists being killed by the British government, would you have vigils for them on Trafalgar Square? It's the same thing with Hamas. But that's considered acceptable and all right. And I think the cops are being told to treat these people with kid gloves. It's coming down from the top. They're saying that basically Pallies can do whatever the hell they like. They can threaten people. They threatened Mayor Tusi. He had to leave before it got any worse. But that's perfectly all right, and they didn't get arrested for any of that. You know, and I think we're just tolerating the intolerable. Hamas and Hezbollah. There is no moderate Hamas. There's no moderate Hezbollah. What can the Israelis can't negotiate with these people, because they just want to wipe them all out. What kind of negotiation position is that? You know, but I think it's just dreadful without there was a, and isn't Hamas and Hezbollah proscribed organisations? Like if you're a member, or if you show support for it, that is in theory illegal, but that's not what's happening on the streets of London. I just find it very disturbing and outrageous and pretty disgusting, frankly, that this is allowed to happen. Why weren't these people arrested? Why didn't they pick off the ringleaders? Why don't they deport them if they're foreign nationals? Another thing about Kim Ledbetter, that she gave £1,000 to an Islamic charity that doxed that teacher that showed that the cartoons of Muhammad, and You know, they printed his name, his address, and his photo in the hopes that a hothead would track him down and kill him. That's the only reason why they did that. And Kim Ledbetter approved of this. She approved of this, and she gave them £1,000. You know, and she approves of having little old grannies and granddads knocked off for their money if they're senile and they just don't know what's going on. She's approving of that. She's gunning for that. This woman has the morals of the sewer. She has the morals of the sewer. And the more I hear about her, the less I like her. You know, obviously, there's two things I've heard about her. You know, and anyway, these people in this charity, why weren't they? That's the malicious communication, doxing that teacher. That's a malicious communication which threatened the life of a teacher, but they haven't been put in courts, they haven't been sent to jail, and they haven't been deported. So again, members of this community being treated with kid gloves because they're members of a protected characteristic. You know, it's not like, but they've broken the law, but the law is not being applied to them. Yet if you say something hurty, say something on Facebook, you get 3 years in jail if you're white in English. You know, so absolutely two-tier policing. But Kim Ledbetter does not approve of freedom of speech, and she is for knocking off our old grannies and granddads for their money. Right, bye.